You're not listening. I said Wi-Fi.
I am listening, and I might not be the only one. Hackers can see what you said over Wi Fi or steal what's on your device.
Well, how do I stop them?
Norton.
And with specials, it's clearly cheated. A freaking hacker.
Did you promise yourself 2021 would be the year you'd be more productive? Get all your work and life organized?
Late last night, Nintendo posted their latest financial numbers for the Switch, how well it's been selling, which is very good, by the way, and I have a couple other thoughts about that we'll talk about in a little bit. But as part of that, one of the bigger pieces of news that have come out is the result of a Q&A section where, again, they were pressed about the possibility of a Switch Pro being something that they're working on or releasing, and the response this time was negative like they've had in the past. This is not the first time they've denied the possibility of working on a new Switch, but the wording this time around was a little bit softer. See, last year in 2020, during a similar Q&A, when Nintendo was asked about whether or not they were working on a Switch Pro, they gave a very clear, no uncertain terms, we are not working on new hardware right now. This is not a thing we're planning on having coming out this year. It's just not a thing we're doing. This time around, when pressed with a similar question, the answer given is slightly more ambiguous, specifically that they are not planning on making an announcement anytime soon. Now, there's a couple things here to really focus on. First off, not planning to make an announcement versus not something we're working on. Saying they're not making an announcement does leave the kind of open space to consider, oh, there might be something we're working on, we're just not ready to talk about that yet, which is a very common lingo for when people ask about things in development and they just don't really want to talk about it. The other part of this answer, though, that is doing a lot of heavy lifting is that word of anytime soon. Because soon, obviously, is kind of a loose term. It could be that we're talking about within the next 3 months. We could be talking about for the rest of this year. They could be talking about sometime next year using a kind of relative scale of how long the Switch has been around. It's really not
Marcus Pearson, creator of not only an entire indie game studio Mojang, but the creator of the world's best-selling game, recently overtaking Tetris, Minecraft. Over time, it feels like he's just vanished from the spotlight as the public figure is once known, Notch. So in this video, I'll be talking about Notch, and placed on Notch's shoulders would soon prove to be too much for him in the coming years. Despite all this though, Notch carried on working on the game, continuing to help it grow, moulding it to consoles and to mobile. Notch most likely saw this change coming, and he was thinking in the background whether he'd be able to deal with all this pressure, not only now having to deal with the fan base of Minecraft on one console, but now 4 different platforms. This is most likely what pushed Notch into making the next decisions coming up. Just before Minecraft's release onto the Xbox 360 on the 9th of May 2012, in a surprising turn of events to the public and the fan base around Minecraft, Notch stepped down and passed over his control to Jeb, the co-founder of Mojang along with Minecraft. After only a few years stepping permanently away from Minecraft and Mojang, whether he knew it or not. Notch might not have knew this at the time, but this would be the last big role he played in Mojang. Little did he know the giant Minecraft would go on to become, which if it's true he couldn't deal with all the pressure, it's pretty good he stepped away this early. The tweet. And in 2014, the tweet was made, and none other than Microsoft themselves replied and took Notch upon his offer, purchasing his share in Mojang for $2.5 billion. Finally giving Notch the peace he wanted, allowing him to finally be able to go on into the next chapter of his life, a self-made billionaire. Everyone else in the right mind would think Notch will go on to live a happy life, riding into the sunset, but that is far from what happened. The downfall. With Notch now out of the public eye and $2.5 billion richer, he could now live the calm and peaceful life he'd desired since his rise to fame, and everything was perfect. Well, until it wasn't. Here begins the downfall of Notch. In 2017, Notch began tweeting some very strange and worrying things, which people had found very unusual. This formed waves and waves of backlash against him, which eventually resulted in Microsoft cutting all ties with Notch, where they began to distance themselves and even his own game from him, literally removing every trace of him they could, apart from his name, Marcus Pearson, in the credits. Notch was being removed from his own game. With this happening, everyone moved on. They continued to play Minecraft as normal, and this is where Notch most likely began to regret his entire decisions. Everyone continued to play his game as normal, with it ever evolving and growing into a stronger and stronger brand day by day, recently surpassing Tetris as the world's most sold game, with over 100 million copies sold. This is most likely where Notch began to regret his decisions. Hungry for that life back as the game developer he once was, the game developer of the world's most popular game. The modern day. Notch most likely regrets all his decisions. When you look at the game today, it shows no signs of stopping down, with new updates coming out, just bringing and inviting new people to the game, all while Notch just slowly fades away day by day. The exact opposite of what's happening to his game, Minecraft. But now, something recently interesting has been happening with Notch. He's stopped all the crazy tweets, but now he's began tweeting some different things. He regularly tweets videos and images of a new creation he's been working on, leaving cryptic messages with curious fans wondering what he's working on. So far as to what we know, he's developing a new game now that he realises that game developing is his passion, maybe hoping that one day he can rival his own creation, Minecraft.
Hello, this is Stampy, and welcome to an extra spooky episode inside of Stampy's lovely world. Good morning, Winnie Beaver, who this year seems to be dressed as a wither skeleton today for Halloween. A very spooky costume, Winnie Beaver, good job. And Polly is kind of hard to see. I think she's either dressed as a carrot or a pumpkin person. So I'm going to assume she's dressed as a pumpkin person because that would... Hello, this is Stampy, and welcome.
What we choose to share with others reflects how much we care. Smooth milk chocolate, crunchy hazelnut, lovingly layered and wrapped in gold. Ferrero Rocher, made to say more.
Just look at those eyes, and that mouth, and that hair, and those legs. It's that time of the month again. I like how my subreddit's tagged with funny humor, entertainment, because this is very entertaining. Horizontal banners. This is not cursed. Axolotl. Y'all heard of Absolotl? I'm not even looking at that. This might be my favorite month of all time on this subreddit. Phoenix should make this working and sit on it and some animals in it. We know. I already did. I've turned reach distance to infinity. Oh. Didn't Minecraft creative mode used to be like this, where you could like place as far as you want? Warped chest. Oh, it was really good. I remember seeing this on the subreddit. How a warped chest opens. That is beautiful. And this is what it looks like inside. I want this in the game. Can someone make this in the game, please? Totem of Undying. You're not wrong. Connected grass. Looks kind of like Terraria. Why isn't this in the game already? I've honestly seen this a lot. I don't know why people want this, because I don't dig it. How Skeppy lives under Bad Boy Halo's basement. I love it when you guys use my videos for memes. Pinocchio Villager. Now you know when the villager is scamming you. Where are his arms? Me give up. What are you doing? Redstone apple, redstone carrot, carrot diamonds, mix and match. Not all chests look the same, and they shouldn't. A cake ingot, 9 of which become a cake block. That looks pretty good, I'd eat that. Oh. And there's your cake nugget. Bundle Steve, but oh no. This is collecting it in a bundle. They won't be ordered right. It won't look like Steve anymore. What will it look like? Oh. A chest inside a chest inside a chest inside a chest inside a chest. Dripstone. Nice. Spider Spocky. So like, if a spider looked like a human. Okay, Yahi. Here is an iron golem. If you didn't know, Fe is iron. We don't remember how to make pumpkin pie. Adder. Wait, what? Circumference divided by... Oh, oh my god. Oh my god. This is... I cannot. best thing I've ever seen. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen. Come on now. Dude.
Oh.
What?
I missed a ton of these bits, so I tried turning around. It was too far away to grab the leftovers. So I went back and decided to run all the way to the top, which has this really tight turn to get up there, by the way. And even standing on the tippy of the ledge, I was still too far away. So with player 2 in hand, I start wiggling the cursors around, and honestly, it barely helped at all. The issue is the star bits are all extremely spread out, and you need some serious pinpoint accuracy to grab them all. Wait, did I get them all? Okay, I guess I did. There's none in sight, and I'm really not sure how I pulled that off. But I digress. The rest of the level is simple. But I'm not done with the hard stars. And I say that unironically going into Boulder Bowl Galaxy. First off, the bowling pins are obnoxious since you can only hit them as Rock Mario, which in turn launches the pins way forward, making it very hard to grab their star bits. The only strategy I could find was to hit a few pins at a time, hope the star bit RNG was nice to me, and just do that until all the pins were gone. Also, Toad is a super soldier. Yep, I just bounced off his tiny puppy head, and he did not care one bit. Now, immediately after that is a lot more trouble. We got tons of Octoombas to spin attack, as well as 3 giant rocks. The problem was that the rocks could very easily squish the Octoombas, which in turn would give us a coin, and there's tons of them, so it took a while to figure out what I was supposed to do. I could have pressed my luck and just destroyed the 3 rocks, but I chose to be stealthy instead. By circling around and sniping one Octoomba at a time, it actually worked, but even here, I cut it insanely close to missing this Octoomba. I eventually got them all, and the rest of the level was easy. And the secret star in Honeybloom Galaxy was no trouble at all. But now to try the first star. It was going fine until I got to these 2 vines. That's because accelerating across released dozens of star bits, and since the camera moves so fast, there was no way I could grab them all. I'm not even going to bother trying with a second controller. I already know half of these bits are practically unreachable without frame-perfect accuracy. But thankfully, there's 2 other galaxies we can try out. Starting with Cosmic Cove, it was really slow going, but not much of an issue. And the same goes for the second star. Then I tried Wild Glide Galaxy, and I knew right away this would be incredibly tough. Near the beginning, there's circles of bits and balloons I have to pop, With a second person helping, this is probably possible, but I can't do this while flying the bird and while aiming for the balloons, so we'll come back here as an emergency backup. And finally, we make it to the end of the second world, and it was a breeze without much to mention. You might think that I'm feeling a bit optimistic at this point. Well, you're not going to believe what heckin' nonsense I'm about to put up with. That's right, this one little Paragoomba. This turd-shaped chunk of garbage drove me half insane. And that's because we need his star bits. And you want to know why that sucks? Well, because there's no ground underneath them. Quite frankly, I thought this challenge was going to be over, until I realized that I can create the ground with the clouds and could probably guide the Goomba across the clouds and get his star bits. But this was way, way easier said than done. Either
But then we can just make platform under.
Drive. It runs in the family. Corona.
I messed up the alignment of the clouds. I messed up landing on the plank. The Goomba hit me, or I hit the Goomba the wrong way. Nothing seemed to work right. But I knew that it was definitely possible. Everything just needed to connect. There you have it, guys. All of that stupidly hard, precise work for 3 star bits. And it's not even over yet. Now I have to destroy this flip tech, which was very tricky to do because my cloud was moving and so was he. But thankfully, you can carefully spin attack him and get what you need. And after all of that, this star is beatable. And thank God. Tall Trunk Galaxy's first star was very time-consuming, but it wasn't that challenging. The second star, on the other hand, wasn't happening because it's an auto-slide, and it's covered in wigglers. And because I can't jump on the wigglers without damaging them on the slide, there's no way for me to destroy them for star bits. And even if there was a way to stun them or destroy them, I doubt you could grab all the star bits because you're moving way too fast to be able to do so. After that, I moved on to Honey Hole Galaxies, and it started off fine since the star bits were just in these blocks. But then came the bonus challenge. Now, I haven't really brought up these bonus challenges because they usually aren't that hard, but this one in particular is ridiculous because you have to spin attack every Pumpkin Goomba twice to get their star bits. And doing that on a timer, yeah, that's just not happening. So I moved on to Freezy Flight Galaxy. I was going for this box at the end, which was pretty scary because we could only rely on the snowball, and I was down to 1 health, which made things worse, but I quickly grabbed the bits and everything was fine. And the second star here was quite easy. Rolling Masterpiece Galaxy had its hard moments since star bits were everywhere, but some spots I was able to basically stay in place and grab them ahead of time. It wasn't too bad a level. So now I've run into a serious dilemma. I need 28 stars to move on, but only have 22. I didn't realize I'd need so many stars this early in the game, so I didn't go for some of the secret or common stars. At this point, I'm going to have to go back to previous galaxies several times throughout the rest of this challenge whenever I need backup stars, so keep that in mind. I first tried the Prankster Comet in Yoshi's Star Galaxy, and there was no way I'd have enough time to get the Spinies and all the star bits. I just can't move fast enough to do both of these things under the insanely strict time limit. But after that, I had a long streak of easy stars, which include the Secret Star in Puzzle Plank Galaxy, the Secret Star in Hightail Falls, and the Prankster Comet in Spin Dig, Cloudy Court, and Puzzle Plank Galaxy. And finally, Flip Swap's Prankster Comet had 0 star bits and was able to get the star. So out of sheer dumb luck, that nabbed us the 28th star, and possible Prankster Comets also stopped spawning right after this one. So we literally just barely got enough to move on. Hey, maybe it's destiny. So at Bowser Jr.'s fearsome fleet, I was really worried about getting all these star bits from the gunner, as well as the bits in the glass globe, but then I realized I can just grab these bullet bills from farther back and get everything I need without worrying about the platform moving. After figuring that out, it wasn't too bad. All was good in Supermassive Galaxy until going off a Star Launcher, which I've noticed has become a pattern. Star Launchers are actually evil. So there's loads of star bits hanging out on the side of this warp pipe, and I can't seem to get them all in one swoop. It's not as bad as it seems though. Using a second controller makes it much easier, and I'm even allowed to miss some near the end because I can just flip the camera around and grab the missed star bits, deeming this level possible. And the secret star here is basically the same thing, except you collect the star on the Flower Planet. But now it's time for a quick round of completing easy stars. These include the first star in Sweet Mystery Galaxy, the star in Flipsville as well as the second one, and we also blasted through the Prankster Comets in Sweet Mystery, the Comet in Flipsville, and the first star in Honey Pot. Our good luck streak stops at Starshine Beach, however. Right at the beginning of the star launcher, there's 3 rings of star bits which I can't grab with one cursor. So I restarted with a second controller and realized I could get the top ring of star bits before taking the launcher. It was the middle ring that was definitely the hardest, but with some practice you can get them all, and the bottom ring is pretty easy considering you're given a lot of time. And after that, I thought I was in the clear. But unfortunately, the bonus challenge just had to be filled with crabbers. And these things are obnoxious trying to take out under a time limit. Whether I tried it just as Mario or with Yoshi, I wasn't making any progress. I even brought a Spiny in to try to save a bit of time, but that still wasn't good enough. So for now, we'll skip this, but maybe it's possible with a second player. I don't know. Thankfully, the first star in Chopworks was extremely simple, as well as the Comet Star in Bowser Jr.'s Fiery Flotilla. A few more easy stars followed. There was the secret one from Cosmic Cove, the first star in Bowser's Gravity Gauntlet, and the first star in Space Storm Galaxy. The second star, on the other hand, was really annoying, because I'm almost certain that these star bits are just glitched out. Look, I am extremely close to these bits, yet I can't grab them for some reason. Even when I take the launcher, they aren't grabbable until like the last possible second. So even with 2 people, there's no way you could get all these. You can grab the ring of bits near the end by turning around, but nothing beyond that, so we'll have to skip this. We'll try Boom Moon Galaxy next, and once again, we're screwed over by the bonus challenge. It's our good old pals, the Pumpkin Goombas. And like before, you can't get star bits out of them fast enough. But Upside Dizzy Galaxy's secret star was fairly easy. I had some epic gaming skills with the crates and finished with 1 second left like an elite gamer. The first star was also pretty simple, and the same can be said for the first star in Slip Sand Galaxy as well as the second one. In Shiverburn, I had some trouble with the Octoombas for some reason. I guess the tiny stubby rocks with the ice blow made things a little bit harder. Otherwise, it wasn't that bad. Then for the secret star, you just complete the challenge and that's it. And Slip Sand's Comet Star is beating Squizzard without getting hit, which gave me no issues. The secret star for Boulder Bowl Galaxy was fairly simple, and while Hightail Falls Comet was challenging, the timer was generous enough to let me nab all the star bits in time. The timer for Bowser's Lava Lair Comet was very tight, but you can make it if you move quickly and don't make any huge mistakes. The secret star in Cloudy Court didn't seem bad until I realized there was Paragoombas, and I knew spin attacking them would send them into the poison 99% of the time. Also, I still have PTSD after my last experience with Paragoombas. But then I realized that by shooting a star bit at one, they'd get stunned that way, and it was slightly easier to hit them. It still required precise aiming on my end, but at least it wasn't that bad, and I could get all the bits with this method. Freezy Flake's secret star was very simple, and just like that, we can move on to... No. I have 54 stars, and I only need 1 more. And I've already exhausted all the possible prankster comments as well as regular stars. Well, the only thing left to do is to hit up my pal Tetrabit Gaming and try to get that star in Wild Glide Galaxy. Our plan was for Tetra to grab the star bits in the background, and I would just focus on the balloons. And by some stroke of a miracle, this worked exactly as I was hoping it would. We nabbed ourselves a star, and the path was finally open. And that was when I realized I could have just done this easy star in Chopworks Galaxy. Oops. I appreciate the help anyway, Tetra. I'm glad I got this one too for good measure. So we moved on to Bowser Jr.'s Boom Bunker, and it was super easy, which opened a new world and gave us more options for stars. Melty Monster Galaxy's first star was another simple one, and Flash Black Galaxy's first star was no trouble either. But my god, the first star in Slimy Spring is by far the longest, dullest, and most boring star of all the challenges I have ever done. You see these stoodles and urchins? They all have star bits. So what that means is I have to shine a light or spin attack the stoodles and throw a shell one by one at each urchin. The problem, of course, is we're underwater, and we run out of air pretty quickly. Now, we are lucky to have this pocket of air, but it takes like 20 seconds to get to. So I have to very slowly and very carefully swim back and forth to knock out a few enemies, go back for air, and do this till they're gone. But you know, honestly, it didn't seem that bad at first. I didn't mind it that much. But then I got halfway through the stage only to find even more of these enemies. Now, thankfully, there is another pocket of air, but it's even farther away, which means I can only destroy 1 or 2 of these enemies at a time. Swimming back and forth for this part alone took over 20 minutes, and I had to do this without wasting too much time or I'd run out of air and risk dying. It is possible to get all the star bits, but holy crap, this was boring. So after all of that, I finally took the frickin' star launcher, and lo and behold, a frickin' second Paragoomba was my next obstacle. Now, of course, I couldn't just spin attack the Goomba in the air because, oh, that would be too easy. He explodes on impact when hitting the water. Of course he does. So what I had to do was meticulously shoot him with a star bit, predict which direction he'd go, and spin attack at the perfect time so I could hit him on the way down and get his star bits. At this point, I'm completely mentally drained and just fed up, as I'm sure you can imagine. But no, I'm not done yet with this one star because there's even more urchins at the end of the level. So I go to this pocket of air, destroy 2 urchins, and repeat this over and over. I am so glad that this star is possible after all of that. But holy crap, my brain was completely numb after that experience. But finally moving on to Clockwork Ruins. This star wasn't too bad, but the pumpkin Goombas were kind of a nightmare, especially in this section where the ground was falling apart. I had to precisely knock them into walls so they'd avoid falling down into a gap. At this point, I needed 9 more stars to unlock the final boss, and after seeing how challenging this game has been so far, I wasn't expecting to complete the secret star in Clockwork Ruins, the first star and the second star in Throwback, the Comet in Clockwork Ruins, the first and second star in Battle Belt, the Comet star in Gravity Gauntlet, Fearsome Fleet, and Battle Belt like it was nothing. Holy crap. We just blasted through all 9 stars and got enough for the grand finale, Bowser's Galaxy Generator. I hate to be anticlimactic here, but there was very little star bits to grab. And after the boss fight, I can confirm that it is indeed possible to beat Super Mario Galaxy 2 while touching every star bit. Well, at least 70 of the stars were possible. Now that I've done this challenge with both Galaxy games, I can firmly say that Galaxy 2 was a lot harder to complete. And I don't know why either. It just seemed like the enemies were either more annoying or there were more star bits in the sky that were hard to reach. I just don't know what it was. But I've rambled enough.
That's enough, you two. If it wasn't for my web shoot, some innocent people might have been hurt. You worked so hard for this day, Herman. I can't believe you're turning against me. Stop with the act. You know you turned on me first. Oh, they caused an electrical fire in the biology lab. Stop! Don't hit the alarm. He'll manipulate the sound. I'll show you the true power of sound. Clayton, I'm not against you. Then you shouldn't have attacked me.
Boosting beyond capacity.
Oh, he's about to unleash a sound bomb. And for the record, I plan on using a wet fan to create a wind cushion.
Or a net. Just create a net.
Oh, right. Okay, bring it on. Everyone nice and stucky? So this spider kid is auditioning too, huh? And I need a bigger arena to show off the full extent of my work. And may the best student win!
Hard to tell. But his brainwaves, vitals, it all looks good. It might take a...
You're cloaked, right?
Don't pretend you don't know me. Look, I can't see back from here. Can you...
Train. So the Regent's been using your powers against your will? People! I saw! What's the deal, Gus? Pretty nice. Except Hulk when he's grumpy. Or even when he's not.
You never saw...
Powers and work out your anger issues? Like that plan wasn't good.
Transmitter to the left in emergency escape tunnel.
Heroes. I'll get the doctors.
Peter, good to see you in one.
treat your pain quickly and easily with new Oragel Triple Medicated Cold Sore Gel.
A few weeks ago, we got our first real in-depth look into Super Mario 3D World Bowser's Fury. This looks significantly better than I was expecting. Heck, I didn't even film my reaction since I really was not expecting that much from it. Even with this announcement though, there's still quite a bit we don't know about this game. In this video, I'll be discussing my thoughts about what we've seen so far, and even point out a few things that some of you may not have noticed. More importantly though, I want to talk about what we don't know, like how long exactly is Bowser's Fury, and is there any extra content for the main game that we haven't seen yet? So join me as I cover my in-depth thoughts and theories for Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. But okay, so I kind of wrote this script a little bit ago, and wouldn't you know what, a lot of new footage for Bowser's Fury has been released since I wrote this script. This means that a lot of my theories have been either confirmed or deconfirmed. Not all of them, but a good chunk. So we're going to change this video a bit so that I'll give my original theories, and then afterward I'll say if I was actually correct or not. A lot of my theories though haven't even been touched at all yet, and the footage does bring up some new ones, so don't worry about that. Plus I'll still be covering my general thoughts alongside my theories as well. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like, and since only a small percentage of people who watch my videos are actually subscribed to the channel, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe for more videos. With all that said, let's jump right into what we know about the main game. First off, the biggest, and in my opinion most exciting change from the main game is that the speed is seemingly much higher than in the original. If you all didn't know, I enjoy speedrunning quite a bit. Odyssey is my favorite game after all, and a lot of that is due to just how fun the movement is there. Boosting 3D World's movement speed is going to make the game a lot more fun for me. This does, however, come with a pretty big question. What will happen to the cat momentum strats? If you didn't know, 3D World's main power-up, the cat...
Yeah? Okay.
can allow you to gain